Name a famous weapon used in horror movies. There are lots of weapons that have been used. Claws, axes. I'm sure I'd be surprised if there's even like a hammer or a hockey stick at some point. Well, very specifically, Hatchet, which is old school American horror. The next icon of horror, says some Harry Knowles from Maine Cool News. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's not based on a Japanese one. It's Hatchet from 2006. Get ready for one of the most talked about red-blooded American horror movies of the past 20 years. When a group of New Orleans tourists takes a haunted swamp tour, they slam face first into the local legend of a deformed madman, Victor Crowley. What follows is a cycle spree of seat jumping scares, eye-popping nudity, skull-splitting mayhem, and beyond. Joel David Moore of Dodgeball and also JD and Grandma's Boy, Dion Richmond, Scream 3, Tamara Feldman and Mercedes McNabb of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, star along with horror icons Kane Jason Hodder, Robert Freddy Krueger England, and Tony Candyman Todd in a screamingly funny Carnage classic that Ain't It Cool News hails as so indescribably awesome you just cannot conceive. I like this movie. This felt like just a good return to form. Now, obviously, in a lot of all the horror movies I reviewed here, sometimes you just need just a good straight punch, punch to the face, just like that. Of just pure unadulterated. Let's scare the crud out of you and be like that. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted to see. So, what makes this work? Well, I like how it pays tribute to the Louisiana swamp. That seems like an area where it should just be having a lot more horror down there. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's probably some, but not too much. I mean, you have stuff like Deliverance, where it plays on some unfortunate stereotypes, but here it just introduces a new kind of a new horror icon. You could say, I mean, it's played by a legend, so obviously, yeah. What I like is obviously what some people like is the build-up, is the escalation. That's the word. And it's like, okay, so let's have a party going on in New Orleans. Let's have this one guy who's saying, hey, I like this swamp tour here. Let's go down and see, haunted ghost tours. Like, okay, so we have this guy named Sean. They go down. I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously this is the build-up, but it's not like your patience gets rewarded, because then, boom, we immediately get some really strong mother effer coming in and just causing problems going on. I'm like, okay, good. So, what was that, about 30, 40 minutes in? A whole bunch of people just start to get, they're stuck in the swamp, and out comes our villain. I'm like, okay, how is this handled? Well, with just the right amount of humor. Because the comedy and horror is more of the build-up and dialogue, and of course, something to do with nudity and sex. It's like, okay, so we have some of the tropes here, but it works well. It's not, it feels natural, mainly because, we have some experts who probably watched Abbott and Costello or whatever for inspiration. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. I like the badinage, which Badinage, playful or witty banter going on between the friends. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. But then we also get Tony Todd coming in for a cameo. I'm like, okay, that's what also works here. Is yes, we have the icons here, but they don't take too much. They have their presence and you feel them, but they're not like overtaking everything. They allow like the newer people who watch them growing up coming in and having some time. And I'm like, okay, and obviously we have the one, the one chick there. It's like, hey, there's this woman in her early 20s with a firearm, because her father and brother were missing. So she kind of has a standard motion to want to go in and get some revenge on Victor Crowley. And she does take command. I like that. Whereas it's like some people have their own agency. She has her own. Not getting like feminist vibes and everything. I mean, this is still, it's like it gets the job done. Let's just put it that way. So she's going around. At the same time, Victor's coming in. He's just handling everyone with a hatchet. By the way, a hatchet has is smaller and only has one blade, not this. I don't know what type of axe that is. So, I don't know. Yeah, you know, obviously when character breaks his leg, so the people have to carry him and everything is just like, whatever. So, yeah, you know, people just get eliminated just like that one by one, and I'm like, okay, you know exactly what you're getting with a movie called Hatchet. So as all that's going on, well, yeah, I don't know, it worked well for me. It's like this is a good, fun 90-minute adventure into the swamp. Music is good because it's kind of, what was that? Maryland is like, well, you know, so the music was good. In order to encompass like the thickness of this swamp, you know, they have some kind of like, they have the party scene with, this is the new shit by Marilyn Manson, but did some like high octaves and stuff like that with a brass section and everything else to highlight the thickness of the swamp. I like that. The music really does add a lot more of the tension and everything, in just the right way is what I noticed. There's this one character, I mean, it's like, you know, we're talking about characters. There's this one guy who's performing an illegal boat tour because his Honeymoon Island, or whatever it's called, is off limits because of multiple reasons. He's still adult. He still goes and handles it. And then we discover, like, oh, he's only done one the night before, and it turns out that he was portrayed excellently by a guy named Perry Chen or something like that. So he has this kind of fake southern swamp accent, and then the actor's own natural voice. That was very jarring. I'm like, what? So, I don't know. And then the ending just comes abruptly, which, you know, is stereotypical of some horror movies. I'm just like, could be worse, because, you know, obviously we're planning a trilogy. And, you know what? I can say I liked it. We get a good backstory. It's like, you know, some people say, oh, shouldn't have backstories for them. Well, I say, like, with the, swampiness of everything down there in Louisiana, I think it was good to have it enough. We don't need an entire origin movie. We just need to spend 7 minutes, let Robert Englund come in, have his own moment, let Kane Hodder come in. I like that. And, you know, I mean, I enjoyed this movie. I mean, some people may not like how it's kind of just going back down the swamp, or like how it's Mardi Gras. I'm just like, well, yeah, you could just check out reviews on YouTube. I'm not dismissing you or anything like that, but, you know, just a little research. My personal, and with nudity, they have some nudity. Of course, they have the Nolans nudity, but for here they have, what was that? Beavers something, like, I don't know, there's this one guy who's having a southern version of Girls Gone Wild. So on camera they are titillating a male audience, but off camera they heavily dislike each other, which I actually found that was actually a clever way of how to incorporate the prerequisite nudity. So yeah, all that being said, in my opinion, I think that Hatchet is definitely worth your time.